What is going on YouTube? Hit it back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we're going to be looking at XRP, Bitcoin's price, Litecoin's price, as well as Ethereum. We're going to be using all of them in regards to kind of figuring out where exactly cryptocurrency is headed. More specifically, where Bitcoin is headed, because we are shorting the coin on DueDEX. We'll also be looking at the XRP pattern, which seemingly is just trading out sideways. I do have an article that I do want to discuss with you guys on the people that are slightly bullish within Bitcoin. Basically, this article is posted by Forbes saying that Bitcoin bulls are ignoring one major problem that I'd like to present to you today. So hopefully, if you guys are new to the channel, definitely make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up, and let's jump into today's episode. So guys, as you can see on my channel right now, I did just post a video early today, just a couple of hours ago, basically in regards to BitSonar. This is a website, a trading bot website, where you can earn profit daily or earn interest daily off of your initial investment. I wanted to start off 2020 doing something quite interesting, so I actually deposited money into there, and I wanted to do like a test trial run to see exactly how well it works. Whether or not it's a scam or not, we'll figure it out. Also, Infinite Growth Conference, another thing that I wanted to mention in Las Vegas. I'm actually got invited and will be flown out to Las Vegas to do the conference with a bunch of other cryptocurrency, technical analysis and analysts on YouTube, as well as some other ones you can see right here: Crypto Mike, XRP Venture, Woke Societies. Hopefully you guys have heard of them. But basically, we're getting flown out. Las Vegas Infinite Growth Conference, pretty awesome. Tickets are available. It is April 4th in Las Vegas. If you want to know more about this, obviously the information is all here in regards to what we're going to be talking about. It's going to be a huge seminar conference. Definitely check it out. Link is in the description if you wanted to get tickets and attend the event. It's going to be awesome, 9 to 5. I wouldn't miss it. It's going to be pretty freaking cool. Obviously, I'm going to record a video, entering and doing in the behind the scenes of everything. It's going to be pretty awesome. But otherwise, without further ado, to jump into the technical analysis. So we do know a couple of things to start off with. We're definitely at a very crucial point right now within the market. Not only are we slightly above overbought, we're slightly above the line of the neutral line on the MACD. You can see we're slightly hanging out above here, which could signal a correction to the downside. But more specifically on Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, and the other ones, you'll notice we're kind of in a very peculiar spot where we're testing resistance. This downtrend right here within what appears to be this massive descending fractal, which really has not been able to be broken and have a price withheld above it for a long time. Yes, we have had dips where we go above it or corrections where we go above it, but for the most part, we are pretty much hanging out below here. This was indeed, we were above it when we were hanging around the high-low middle moving average, but since that reversal over here, we've pretty much been having quite a bit of resistance and problems. Now, here's the crazy thing. We do have this uptrend that started all the way back in February of 2019 on Bitcoin, this uptrend right here that we seem to be hanging out with quite well. And it would be very surprising, and I'd be quite shocked if we do manage to break below here and fall bearish. It is a possibility, but it is something to consider that we could be shooting up to higher levels. You also notice we finally set a higher low, and a lower high too. You can see this higher low is, this previous one is higher than the last one, which is awesome. That could be a sign of a reversal in the market. I'd be a little, I'm not too sure as to whether or not we're going to continue to head up. We're at this very critical point right now, kind of where the higher lows and the lower lows are meeting. So we're setting lower highs right here each time the high is lower than the previous one. And the higher low is right here, as you guys can see. So it all comes into this one boiling point right here. And this is ultimately the deciding factor as to which direction Bitcoin could be shooting to. Now, there was an article posted by Forbes which talks about that the Bitcoin and crypto bulls have cheered Bitcoin more or less positive start in 2020, and the Bitcoin price, which limped through December following 6 months of declines, and now crypto analysts have warned Bitcoin trading volume is now at the lowest price since April, with volume down 90% from its June 2019 highs. That's what I kind of wanted to speak about and show you guys. It says the 7-day average real trading volume continued downwards this week. The first day of the year registered as little as 192 million in volume, and these levels has not been seen since April of 2019. And you can see right here the trading volume that is with Bitcoin, which is crazy. Bitcoin to US dollar, you can see we're in some sort of descending fractal, but ultimately we're setting lower lows every single couple of days, if not every single month. basically pushing the coin lower and lower and lower, which could ultimately break us into this bearish fractal and send us even lower to the downside. Now, a lot of you guys, as well as me, are kind of on the fence right now as to which direction Bitcoin is going to head to. Some of us believe we're going to correct to the upside and shoot up, maybe as high as 8,300, while others believe that we are going to see a dip before we see the major reversal or correction to the upside within Bitcoin. Ultimately, I'm kind of in the middle right now. I do have a position open on DueDEX that I highly recommend you guys take advantage of, because honestly, the longer we do hang around this area here too, gives me more reason for us to be breaking bearish. You know, when we usually hang around here, that means that there is quite a strong resistance, and it is kind of clear. You guys can clearly see that there is some sort of resistance that we can draw right here. Bam. You can see where that kind of cuts through the coin. You can see previously where it's had issues here, it's had issues here, and again right here where we tend to break bearish. We have used it as a support in the past, don't get me wrong, another support. But you can see right now we're kind of getting sandwiched in between here, and we're having quite the bit of trouble breaking to the upside. We've had now 3 days now and a massive wick candle right here, which could mean a reversal due to the fact that basically we're extremely suppressed on this resistance, and this next candle could be pushing us lower down into the previous price range of around $6,800, which is about 50% gain on my 10 times leverage trade or leverage short on DueDEX. But ultimately, this is probably the candle that I'm going to be paying the most attention to, because I do believe this is going to either show us we're going to be moving higher or we're going to be breaking lower. Now, also consider that there is a resistance at around the $7,500 to $7,600 level. You can see right here where we've had problems in the past, and you can also see where this one has had problems in the past. So ultimately, things don't look the best. We can consider that maybe this is some sort of ascending triangle that is formed here, but could once again ultimately break bearish as well and pull us all to the downside. But honestly, I am more so leaning towards a short. I don't know. I don't want to be like too bearish on the market right now, because honestly anything's possible. But you know, I have a short position in, and I still do and still am fairly confident that we are going to correct lower, due to the fact that almost every single time we hang out at the top of this bearish fractal, we break to lower levels. You can see we broke lower, 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 and lower. Yes, sometimes we get intertwined with the high-low MMA, but ultimately the fact that there's this resistance here, once again, you can see the purple resistance, which we saw back in June, is now kind of intertwined with the market. I really don't believe we have enough volume to head up any higher. You can see on the 4 hour, we were recently testing the overbought level on the 4 hour as well. That's another great indicator for a reversal to happen. We were quite overbought. You can see on the 4 hour, wow, I did not mean to make that disappear. I don't even know where it went, the MACD, but wherever it went, we're pretty much near a correction to the downside. We're near some sort of bearish reversal. Yes, we are hanging out on top of the high-low MMA, but we did once again have that bearish cross here as well as the MACD. Let me try to add that back on the indicators. I don't know how in the world that disappeared. It's somewhere here. I can figure it out after, but ultimately I do believe that we are due for some sort of correction to the downside. We haven't seen it just yet. We're having quite a bit trouble with a lot of these candles. You can see wicking here and not actually forming candles and closing above resistance, but this could ultimately send us down. XRP, not really seeing much movement, which is nice to see that it's not being affected by the market. It ultimately is just trading out sideways, consolidating, and I do believe we're going to see this either closing off mid-February, or we're going to see a dip to the downside of about 16 cents before we see any sort of correction. And I do believe the 16-cent dip will be brought upon Bitcoin correcting to the downside to about, I know a lot of people are crazy and don't think $5,000 is possible. I truly think it is. Maybe even $6,000, $6,200 is more reasonable than $5,000. This is an extremist view of $6,000, but ultimately I can easily see us correcting down to $6,400 before we see any sort of reversal to the upside. Same problem goes with Litecoin. As for why I believe we're going to head lower, you can see clear as day on this bearish fractal the amount of times we've retested the downtrend and had zero luck, and ultimately led us to pull even lower down. It's happening over and over again on Litecoin, which makes me believe it's going to happen on Bitcoin as well. So I do believe that the short is in a good position. Yes, I could have bought a little bit higher up, but I do believe for those of you that haven't already checked out DueDEX, I think you should. I think it is something to consider shorting fairly soon, because this downtrend does show the likelihood of a break to the downside. You can see the clear channel that we're trading in. You can see the clear resistance and support right here. As we zoom back in the past, you can see where we've had problems and supports being retested here. And ultimately, I think the same thing is going to happen very, very, very soon within the price here, because I think this resistance is not going away. You can see right now that we did have a bunch of reversals to the downside. I don't think we've actually broken here. We did a little bit over a year ago. We did break bullish. We eventually corrected back down inside of here. We've had a lot of wicks that have sent the coin lower. So I do think even these wicks aren't necessarily a great sign for a correction to the upside. And I do believe we're going to see a quick retracement to 39, if not all the way back down to $30 on Litecoin. But otherwise, that's going to wrap up today's video, guys. If you're new to the channel, definitely make sure to subscribe. Check out DueDEX. Check out the Infinite Growth Conference. All linked in the description. And I'll see you in tomorrow's episode. Peace.